I'm going insane because I just watched a movie that feels like a cult recruitment film and at the same time, the worst animated movie I've ever seen in my life. The movie in question is Bigfoot vs. Megalodon. It is a 2021 full-length animated film. My first thought going into it was like, wow, what an interesting matchup. You know, Bigfoot lives on the land, a Megalodon would live in the sea. So where are they gonna fight? Of course, you guys are probably way ahead of me. You probably already figured it out. They're fighting in space, 2,000 years in the future.
In star year 4044.
Yeah, that's right. The year is 4045, and there is a space war going on that Bigfoot and the Megalodon are both involved in. And this is where a big grievance with this movie comes in. It's like half narration. It opens with like 10 straight minutes of some random guy talking about the lore. I'll summarize it for you because I am a hero. Basically, there are humans and there are aliens and they've been at war for a long time. It's kind of peacetime right now, but all of a sudden a human ship gets blown up and everyone's trying to figure out who did it. In this world, humans took to space because Earth became uninhabitable except for Megalodon. There is one Megalodon, he lives on Earth and he's lived there for 2,000 years, ever since the end of World War II. In this movie, the Megalodon is not a giant shark like you might assume. He's actually half man, half shark. He's immortal and is the result of a World War II experiment to create a super weapon, which I will say is kind of realistic because as we all know, World War II ended when the US dropped the street sharks on Japan. But all that is ancient history now because it's the year 4045 now. And Megalodon only cares about one thing: destroying the humans.
The Megalodon seeks to destroy any and all in its way.
For whatever reason. But alright, it's time to get into the action. Jesus Christ! Oh my god. That's Bigfoot? That's what Bigfoot looks like in this movie? Why is he on a spaceship? And why is he running? He's Bigfoot. He should be in the woods. I wish the movie would answer any of these questions, guys. I really do. But instead, it cuts right to two of the horniest astronauts that have ever lived.
I should have known you'd be working out.
Not much else to do around here, princess.
Oh? I can think of a few things.
Their whole conversation, the thing that introduces them to the audience, is them using the most heavy-handed innuendos you've ever heard in your life, or Callie directly asking Van Helsing to have sex with her. Here's the entire conversation, but I've edited out everything that would get this video flagged.
Here? Now?
Compelling. I also want to note that like this character, Callie, has the worst case of like female character written by a man energy ever.
Van Helsing, I want a baby.
This again?
Her whole thing is trying to hook up with Van Helsing. Her whole thing is his whole thing. You know what I mean? But okay, we've introduced our three main characters, these two humans and Bigfoot. We're gonna find out how they all fit together. We're gonna see them interact.
And this is only the beginning.
No, we're gonna cut to Megalodon? Okay, awesome. That's sick. This is crazy to me. You can't just introduce that Bigfoot is on this spaceship and then never address why. That'd be like if in Star Wars there was a big hairy monster and they never told you how he got there. Anyway, let's find out what Megalodon's doing, I guess.
See how easy it was to pick off that allied fighter, Bogey.
The Allies will blame such attacks on their enemies.
One by one, the allied fleet will fall like seals on the ocean's surface.
Okay, I will say it is a little weird that he keeps making references to the ocean like that. He's supposed to be half man, half shark, and it kind of makes me think that the shark is driving the bus right now. All these robots are just unknowingly working for a fish. He's giving them a bunch of orders where it's like, we have to capture the human supply of mackerel. We need to attack a surfboard thinking that it's the shadow of a seal. Now! The aliens, who you might have forgotten about because this movie is so fucking insane, are trying to find Megalodon because his DNA is the secret to destroying the humans. I guess in this universe, humans are invincible unless killed by a shark. Kind of like how in the ocean in real life, lobsters and jellyfish are immortal unless killed by a shark. But yeah, to summarize, the humans and the aliens are at war. Bigfoot is on the human side, and the aliens want Megalodon so they can use his DNA to destroy the humans and Bigfoot. You guys ever say something you wrote out loud and realize that your life is a big joke? So there's this meeting scene where Callie, Van Helsing, and Bigfoot all talk about what they're gonna do about the aliens. And Bigfoot just kind of derails the whole thing to talk about getting more rations, which again brings up the question, why is Bigfoot on this ship? It doesn't even seem like he's helpful.
We're really running low down there, and I noticed we're orbiting the Borgium Nebula, whose meat markets are second to none.
They cut away to just real life stock footage. They do this a few times throughout the movie, almost like they didn't want to animate something here and had a subscription to like a stock footage site and we're just like, this works. Let me go to pexels.com and search in raw meat and that'll fill out the movie.
I knew I saw something in you, Bigfoot. And not just the size of your massive feet.
Oh God, Callie, no, don't hit on Bigfoot.
Of course, if you wanted me to go in guns blazing, I gotcha.
That's what I like about you, Bigfoot. You're such a man.
Don't say it like that. He's an animal. Also, not about the plot, but in the background of this scene, there's just a robot diligently reading the default lorem ipsum text from Photoshop. Oh, also, speaking of robots, we do have one more character to meet. It's the ship's AI. This guy's named Ra, and he's the scariest computer program I have ever seen in my life.
The universe is chaos.
I know people are really nervous about AI right now, but at least ChatGPT doesn't sound like that. That would be horrifying. Write me a heartfelt wedding invitation.
The universe is chaos.
So Van Helsing is complaining to Ra about how much Callie is trying to have a baby with him.
She's pushing hard to have a baby.
And I'm sure that Ra is going to respond with like a very logical, robotic response. Right?
She's pushing hard to have a baby.
A baby. In this galaxy, she is stark raving mad.
You know what they say.
The crazy ones are better in bed.
No. The AI is horny too. No. Which struck me as really weird until the movie reveals that he's not responding like an AI would because he's not an AI.
I am the eternal sun god Ra.
He's Ra, the Egyptian sun god. This human spaceship has a Bigfoot and the Egyptian sun god. How does this make sense? You have to explain at least one of those. Like, I know that this takes place like 2,000 years in the future, right? But like, what happened between now and then? There were religions 2,000 years ago that had their own gods, but we don't have any of those gods sitting around in jars waiting to talk about sex with us. Also, when did Sasquatches enter the workforce? But we're not gonna get those answers, are we? We're just gonna find out a bunch of exposition that we don't care about. The whole reason Van Helsing is really talking to Ra, though, is because they want to find out who attacked the ship that we saw get blown up at the beginning of the movie. Ra has a guess, and it is crazy.
The good man gone bad. Betrayer of women and men alike.
Okay, yeah, sounds evil.
Drug fiend. Sex addict.
I'm not super sure how that's relevant.
The Duke of Depravity.
Should I be writing this down?
The Prince of Perversion. The King of Corruption.
But yeah, all that buildup is to reveal that the main antagonist is an alien who has the same name as an 1800s occultist.
I'm Alistair Crowley, you insufferable drone.
That name choice, combined with all the weird imagery in the introduction, kind of leads me to believe this might not be a normal movie. You'll see as we go on, but the aliens are all following this like cult religion that feels a little too specific. But before we get to that, a moment of silence for Megalodon. He's not dead, he's just stupid. He calls the humans and basically confesses to blowing up the ship.
Are you the one who downed our fighter ship?
What do you think, robot?
And then he tries to attack them solo and gets instantly captured. Look, everybody makes mistakes, even 2,000-year-old shark men, but I do think that this supports the theory that he's mostly fish brain. Now that they have Megalodon in custody, Van Helsing, Callie, and Bigfoot go to interrogate him.
Why don't you spare us the hollow threats and...
Open that door, bitch.
Jesus Christ, bro. Really aggressive language to be breaking out.
So this is vengeance for what happened to planet Earth? The Earth was my home too. I lost loved ones.
You lose choose much more than that before this is over, you insufferable.
What the fuck? Okay, I get that this guy is like evil and they want him to feel like a bad dude. There are different ways to communicate that. Megalodon gets in a room with a woman once and he goes feral like he's on the TikTok alpha male pipeline.
If you don't have $1 million by the time you're 25, you should die.
So now on the human spaceship, there is one Bigfoot, one Egyptian god, and a Megalodon. So naturally the aliens are gonna attack because they want that Megalodon for a reason that makes sense. Before this attack, off screen, the aliens apparently mind control Bigfoot.
I'll lay down my life for the new ER.
Good, creature.
And just as we're about to wrap up this movie, it doubles down on the aliens being like in a cult. Like in this scene when they superimpose a upside down cross over the villain. And this one where they do the same thing but with a pentagram. And this one where they just full on like reference Satan by name.
And you offer your life to Satan.
And I know I brought up a lot of questions about this movie, and none of them are gonna be answered. But my biggest issue right now is that are these aliens following a human religion while they're trying to destroy the humans? So they hate humans, but they really rock with our lore. Also, it gets so much weirder because Bigfoot attacks a human ship and then goes to meet up with the aliens who mind controlled him. And when he gets there, we find out the aliens are gonna do ritual cannibalism on the people they've killed. And while they're talking to Bigfoot about this, they say this.
Got any barbecue sauce?
I'd much rather smear my meal with the holy ejaculate beast. Gives it a pleasing, salty flavor.
Holy shit! They just cut away to B-roll of sperm cell. I have literally never seen that in a movie before. Anyway, I guess that line was gross enough where Bigfoot snaps out of his mind control, blows up the alien ship, and subsequently gets Van Helsing killed in the process.
No, my friend.
But don't worry, what you may not know is that Van Helsing was actually a clone, and they're just gonna clone him again and bring him back. Which is great because it gives the movie a second opportunity to use B-roll of sperm cell.
Retrieve a sperm sample. Bring it to me.
I am honestly, not making a joke here, impressed that they found two opportunities to do that. As astounding as that triumph of filmmaking is, we are now entering the section of the film that I like to call, why is this still going? Because we blew up the alien ship, we recloned Van Helsing, we saw the B-roll, we don't need to keep going. But we have this weird epilogue where we find out like the main villain escaped, and Megalodon escaped, and they cloned the guy who died. So like everything is back to where it was at the beginning. Literally nothing has changed. We're in the same place we started, dude. Horny astronauts and a running Bigfoot. I'm not 100% sure what this movie is. It has weird culty vibes for sure, and it definitely strikes me like it was animated by either one person or like a very small team of people who were in a tremendous rush. Wait, why am I like genuinely reviewing this movie? No, this movie sucks. It's bad to the point of like, I don't even think I'd recommend watching it. Don't get me wrong, like making a movie, especially an animated movie, is so difficult. That being said, if you're gonna make a low budget animated movie, I don't think this is a role model for it. I think this is a bad movie. Maybe it's supposed to be, like maybe it knows what it is. I mean, like I don't know any other reason they'd have so many unexplained wacky characters. I don't know, man, but good on them for trying to make a movie. It's a hard thing to do, and good on them for trying to recruit me into the alien space cult. It didn't work this time, but that's just because I'm very mentally strong. Let me know what you guys thought about this movie in the comments below, and thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that you don't miss my next video where I put a Bigfoot in a very high stakes situation. Thank you, bye!